Kia ora from New Zealand, everyone. I'm Donnalouise, and welcome to my YouTube channel for the love of puzzles. I am maybe over my jet lag, but I am still buzzing and full of excitement, having been at the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships in Spain. What an amazing time. I loved every minute, and I think I'm driving my husband, Wendy, Allison, Paige, all my friends crazy with all the stories that I'm telling them day after day after day. I want them all to come with me next year. If I could, I'd pack them all in my suitcase and bring them along. What fun we had. So I already released like a vlog style video with Jeanette. We did one for my channel and one for her channel, as well as I already did the recap video for the individual categories. I'll leave links to those videos in the description below. Make sure to check them out. Now the thing is, there's so much to cover and so much to talk about. And I know I'm gonna forget to mention some things, and it'll be good if you watch other YouTubers' recap videos just to get different points of view and opinions on the whole experience. But I think we can all agree that it was amazing. And again, a big thank you to the organizers, Alfonso and his team at the World Jigsaw Puzzle Federation, all the volunteers, the camera crew, the commentators, the announcers. There was a person sitting behind a screen, and I don't think you even saw them, and they were the ones coordinating like all the cameras for the live streams, like crazy. Come along, you'll love it. If you love puzzles, you'll love the competition. So in this video, I'm gonna cover the pairs as well as the teams categories. We'll start with the pairs. Now, I paired up with Jeanette from Jeanette and Her Puzzles, and then Jigsaw Juby and Vicky Makes and Builds also paired up. Jeanette and I competed under New Zealand, and Jigsaw Juby and Vicky competed under Australia. There were 3 pairs preliminary rounds, and in order to qualify to move on to the finals, these were the rules. Now, apologies, I do have tons of notes, like pages and pages of notes and screenshots on my tablet. So if I look down, I apologize. But in order to advance in pairs from your preliminary rounds to the finals, it was the best pair from each country up to 15. And I'm sure that there were more than 15 countries represented in each of those preliminary rounds. So it was pretty tough, you know, to advance just on the country rule. And then the rest of the pairs up to 30 in order of classification. So there were only 30 pairs that qualified from each of those 3 preliminary rounds for a total of about 90 into the finals. That's pretty tough. For the pairs preliminary rounds, you had 90 minutes to complete a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle. Again, Ravensburger was the main sponsor of the event, supplied all the jigsaw puzzles, and seriously, so much fun. So Group A, neither Jeanette and I nor Juby and Vicky were in this group, but I do have a copy of the jigsaw puzzle that was used for Group A. This one right here, it's called Student Days, and it's by Robert Howe. Oh, Robert Howe, I have a lot of his puzzles hanging up in the garage. I didn't even realize this was one of his. Now, I just have to say, thinking back to my individual preliminary round, the Lupins, I would have much preferred to get this. Now, that just goes to show how different people view different puzzles. A lot of people think, oh, this is so busy, this is tricky. Oh, I'm glad it was a pairs puzzle. I would have hands down taken this over the Lupins any day. This is my style of jigsaw puzzle. In fact, Jeanette and I were able to sit down one evening with Carolina from Ukraine. She joined us in Madrid, and we just casually puzzled this, and we had so much fun doing so. And yeah, so this was the Group A jigsaw puzzle. Lots of color, lots of busyness, lots going on, perhaps hard to sort, more like a full flip kind of deal. I didn't talk to any pairs that actually had it, so I don't have a first-hand experience or input from those who did do it. However, I will try to complete this with Allison as a speed run. I'm gonna wait a month or 2 closer to the Australian Nationals in preparation for that, just because I have a little bit of familiarity with the jigsaw puzzle, and I don't want that to influence our time too much. There were 112 pairs that competed in Group A, so let's look at the top 5. This was another nail biter, another close race. And look, again, Teresa Marketa from the Czech Republic, 32 minutes and 20 seconds. How is that possible? I just don't understand. I'm so blown away by them. And then Sarah and Michaela from the US, and Ednea and Daniela, sorry if I mispronounce your name, from Brazil. And then 2 more American teams, Tiffany and Elisa, Jean and Kathy Reuter, the sisters. Oh my goodness, the top 5, 32 minutes 20 seconds to 35 minutes 40 seconds. Amazing, so impressive. And seriously, to watch them puzzle in person, it doesn't feel like 30 minutes have gone by. You could stand there and stare at a person puzzle and not blink, and it'd be like, oh, and they're done. But it's been 30 minutes, and it's just amazing. It's so much fun. Another thing to just quickly note with this jigsaw puzzle from this series, it did come with one of those little inserts, so that's really nice if you're puzzling with multiple people. Group B, the next puzzle, Jeanette and I were in it, and this was our jigsaw puzzle. I actually have the puzzle somewhere in this pile, my leaning pile of puzzles, and it did come with an insert as well, and it's in the bag. This one is called Ludicrous Library, and it's a Colin Thompson. I loved it. I saw the image and right away I went, oh, fun. But I think Jeanette maybe went, oh no. So I sang her soft kitty to calm her down. I just have to say, I had so much fun speed puzzling pairs in Group B, this jigsaw puzzle with Jeanette. We had so much fun together. I loved it. Now, we had practiced quite a few jigsaw puzzles, and most of them our time was in the, I'd say, 35 to 45 minute range. One we did was closer to the hour and 30 minute range, and I'll talk about that later. But seeing this, we all knew it would be a lot trickier, a lot more difficult. Not too much you could sort right off the bat. So we pretty much did a full flip. We pulled out the border. I concentrated on the yellow. And Jeanette has taught me a few things. You see, just things you don't realize puzzling with other people. First of all, I had the poster, she was using the box, and often we had the box propped up, but she liked to take it down and put it flat on the table in the orientation that she was looking. So she wouldn't have it straight up, she'd have it down on the table and oriented the way that she was looking at the puzzle. And that was even better. I thought that was really smart. That's something definitely to consider doing. And I might actually do that more even individual speed puzzling. Instead of having the box propped up, if you have room on your puzzling area, to have it down and next to you. It all depends on the space that you're allocated. And by the way, at the competition, I felt we had so much room, so much space. It was really nice. I never felt that we were cramped speed puzzling. So it's Group B, Jeanette and I, and we're puzzling along. And the one thing is, at one point, Jeanette said, oh, I'm stressed. I need to sort by piece shape. And I said, sure, let's do it. Jeanette has taught me that sorting by piece shape, as soon as you feel stressed or lost or unsure what to do, is actually a really smart move, a really good thing to do. And so we quickly sorted by piece shape, and boom, she was back on her game. The only comment she made was she wished she would have sorted by piece shape sooner for this jigsaw puzzle. But I was so proud of our time. I was so excited. I have it written down here, 1 hour, 5 minutes and 59 seconds. There were 113 pairs in our Group B, and I just thought it was great. Now, one other thing we noticed, once we sorted by piece shape, Jeanette was concentrating like a hole in the jigsaw puzzle, looking at the shapes, trying to find the piece to match the hole. Whereas I still did my kind of like pick out a piece with something distinct and figure out where it went on the puzzle. Like, for example, here there's a lot of books with legs and feet. So I would try to find something distinct on a piece, try to figure out where that piece went. Only once did I grab a piece, I was holding it, and it was a piece that Jeanette was also looking for. So from that point, I realized that I should not grab a piece unless I absolutely know where it goes on the jigsaw puzzle, that it's better to leave it on the sorting tray or on the table. And then if she, grabbed it first to put it in place, that would be better because I was holding on to it. Now you may have seen that Jeanette and I were actually missing a piece at the end, and luckily the volunteer who was recording our time saw it underneath the table. Quickly, Jeanette grabbed it and we completed the jigsaw puzzle. And I was so proud of us. Our time was 1 hour, 5 minutes and 59 seconds. Ooh, it was a tough jigsaw puzzle. We came in 33rd out of those 113 pairs that were in Group B with us. Now, at that time, we did not think we had qualified. And for a moment, I was like, wow, I thought we puzzled so well. It was a tough puzzle. This is a tough competition. Hoo-wee, because only 30 pairs advanced to the finals. So I was like, ooh, wow, this is tough. And that's okay. We didn't qualify, but we did our best. So we had mentally decided, that's it, we're done with pairs. So much fun puzzling with her. But how about we commentate during the pairs finals? So we went to speak with the organizers and they were like, yeah, it'd be great if you commentated during the pairs finals. So mentally, I just want to say we were not prepared to puzzle again together in pairs, at least at that time. But if you keep watching, you'll see that quickly changed. Now let's have a look at the top 5 for Group B. So Sarah and Tobias, 37 minutes and 38 seconds. This is such a busy jigsaw puzzle. How is that possible? Kristen and her mom came in second, 41 minutes. The two Annas from Spain, 43. Brigitta and Nora, 44. Andrea and Dawn, 45. So close, the top 5. Just amazing. I love watching people speed puzzle. I enjoy doing it myself. I enjoy pairs, I enjoy teams, but I also love watching other speed puzzle. And I'm just always amazed at how well everyone does and how fast everyone could be. The final puzzle for Group C, I don't have a copy of it, but I've seen different names for it. And the one in English that I found, it was called Colorful Underwater Creatures, or Colorful Underwater Species, I should say. Very blue, very dark, very interesting. And this was yet another jigsaw puzzle that Vicky brought with her for us all to pairs practice together. So Jeanette and I had done it, and I believe our time was around the 1 hour, 28 minute mark. So it was a lot more difficult because we had done other pairs practice together and we were closer, like I said, to that 35, 45 minute mark. So this one was tricky. And then Vicky and Juby practiced it together. They did it just, what was it, maybe 3 days earlier, and their time was a bit over the 90-minute mark. I believe it was maybe 1:32, 1:34. So when they got this puzzle in Group C, I thought, well, they just have to get a little bit faster to make it within the 90 minutes. I think they can do it. Well, I don't know what lit a fire under their butts, but they did amazing. And you cannot tell me that it's just the familiarity of the puzzle. There's no way they remembered enough of that puzzle to knock off as much time as they did, because they completed that jigsaw puzzle in 53 minutes and 12 seconds. Well, seriously, what happened? That's just crazy. Crazy. They went from like an hour, just over an hour 30, to 53 minutes. Insane. They were both a machine. They stepped up at the competition. They did great. I should have asked them and get their feedback and input on what they think made them be able to do that jigsaw puzzle that much faster. Nuts. There were 115 pairs in Group C. So let's have a look at the top 5. 33 minutes and 15 seconds to do this very difficult jigsaw puzzle. Crazy. 36 minutes, 37 minutes, 38 minutes, 42 minutes. The top 5, all under 45 minutes. Just great. Gisela and Alejandro, Clara, Andrea, Soraya and Gabriel. Now I have to comment, Gabriel Turcu, I believe he's only 12 years old and he cannot yet compete in the individuals until he turns 16. So everyone, we have 4 more years. And then after that, oh, wow, it's going to be an exciting battle. He is an amazing puzzler for his age. Then Mercedes and Vanda, and then from Australia, Jessica and Hannah. Whew, so impressive on such a difficult jigsaw puzzle. But I was so proud of Juby and Vicky. I still, for them to cut that much time off of that puzzle was amazing. They just were flying at the competition. They both did, I think, better at the competition than when they speed puzzle at home. So then it's the next day, and we had the team preliminary in the morning. Then in the afternoon, we had the individual finals. And by that time, I was tired. I was shattered. Most nights, I only got 3 or 4 hours of sleep from the jet lag. I just could not sleep. And remember, Jeanette and I, we realized, okay, we didn't qualify for the pairs final. That's great. We're gonna go commentate. And as I finish up my individual final jigsaw puzzle, I was so pleased. My best time so far in the competition individual, it was like an hour, 25 minutes and something. And I was like, just calm. And I was just relaxed in a state of mind that I had been done puzzling for the day. And the individual final is over. I turn around and the first thing Jeanette says to me is, there was a mistake recording times. We actually qualified and we're in the pairs final. And I was like, who? What? What? Huh? And I was so caught off guard. I wasn't prepared. I was very excited. And I believe there were maybe 3 teams who did not think they had qualified to go to the pairs final that actually did qualify in the end. And we were very excited to do so, but I will admit, I was perhaps a bit more of a giggling mess than I was of a puzzler. So let's look at the pairs final jigsaw puzzle. So here's the pairs final jigsaw puzzle. It's called Boston, and it's by Jack Otano, the Metropolitan pop artist. Well, let's just say, when this was pulled out of the bag, I had high hopes for it because I love the image, my style of jigsaw puzzle, but quickly we were overwhelmed. I think a lot of people were overwhelmed by this jigsaw puzzle. It's just so much going on. And I think a lot of people sorted out this top yellow area and built that quickly. But then I just couldn't function and decide what we should do. Jeanette was great. She likes to puzzle on her lap, and it was smart that she brought along those slidey boards. She would pick out colors that were the same, build there and slide sections in. Now, I will admit, I messed up the time lapse. I thought I had started recording, but no, I actually hadn't. So halfway through, Stein is sitting behind us, and he's like, I think your box, the puzzle box, is blocking your camera. And so when I went to check the camera, it didn't matter because the camera wasn't even recording. So the time lapse starts when we're well into the jigsaw puzzle. And I just have to say, I think we both kind of lost it at one point. Jeanette was sitting in her chair, sideways parallel to the table. She was all the way at one end of the table, puzzling in her lap. She had completed a section of the jigsaw puzzle and wanted to slide it into place. And she realized that it was on the other end of the table. And instead of maybe standing up, walking over, moving her chair, she literally just grabbed the edges of her chair and slid the chair back along the table, and it made this loud, like, scratching noise along the floor, like scratch, 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 scratch. And I think that was the moment I lost it. I was doubled over, laughing, crying. It's not on the time lapse because this was a portion when the camera wasn't filming. And I just couldn't set myself straight. Tears were running down my face. Jeanette was doubled over laughing, but you know what? We had so much fun together. And we just said, let's have fun. Let's do the best we can, but we knew we were too far gone at this point. And at one point, Jeanette noticed the team next to us dropped a piece on the floor. Jeanette got up, picked it up, and gave it to them. And they were like, oh, thank you. You didn't need to do that. She's like, oh, it's all right. And someone that was watching behind us afterwards came up to me and said, they said, my English isn't very good, but I just want to tell you I loved watching you puzzle because I think people could see that we loved puzzling together, that we were having fun, we were enjoying the experience. But oh goodness, this was quite the puzzle. Let's have a look at the top 5. Alejandro and Gisela. They did this in 1 hour and 32 minutes and 18 seconds to clinch the final. How amazing is that? And then from the US, Sarah Schuler and Michaela, 1 hour, 46 minutes, 37 seconds. Teresa and Marqueta, Mercedes, Vanda, Clara, and Andrea finished out the top 5 just under 2 hours at 1 hour 52. If we look further at the top 10, also the Reuters sisters, Jean and Kathy, came in at 1:56 and close behind Tiffany and Alyssa at 1:56.29. 5 seconds difference between 6th and 7th place. And even 8th place, Soraya and Gabrielle Turku, the 12-year-old, made it 8th place. And then 9th place, the Annas, they also finished in the 2 hours. So we had a 2-hour time limit to complete this 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. 10th place was Karen and Eby, and they didn't finish the puzzle in time. So that just shows you that only 9 pairs managed to complete this puzzle in 2 hours. They were very close though, just a few pieces shy. They did 965 pieces. So Jeanette and I didn't write down how many pieces we actually completed, but in the end, we placed 95 out of the 340 pairs that started out in the preliminary rounds. I'm really pleased with that. And then Juby and Vicky finished 88th out of the 340. Oh my goodness, definitely a tricky, tough puzzle for the pairs. And what was interesting is I said to Jeanette afterwards, I said, I bet you any money Allison is going to message me and she's going to say, bring this puzzle home. You and I are going to do it. We'll finish it in the 2 hours. Because Allison, she's competitive. She's a fighter. And sure enough, the next morning at breakfast, I get a message from Allison and she says, you make sure to bring that puzzle home. We're going to do it together. So Allison and I are going to try to speed run this. I'm going to just give us the 2-hour time limit and see how we do. I don't feel I have much of an advantage having already done the puzzle because we didn't do all that well on it. And we'll wait another month or so before we tackle it. Can we finish it under the 2 hours? If we do, it's all on Allison because she's amazing. I don't know though. This is a fun puzzle to do leisurely, but speed puzzling, woo, this was a doozy. And I'm just so impressed again with the finishers, with anyone that was able to complete it in the 2 hours. Good on them, well done, bravo. But it definitely was a fun puzzle and I can see many people wanting to buy this just to enjoy it. If you're interested in buying any of the puzzles that appeared at the competition, I've added as many as I could find to my 2 Amazon storefronts. I have a .com and a .co.uk. I'll leave links to those in the description below. Full disclosure, if you shop at Amazon anyway, the price is the same for you, but I get a little commission that I use to go back into the channel to buy more jigsaw puzzles and equipment to make the videos for your viewing pleasure. So thank you so much for that support. So we move on to the teams event. There were 2 rounds of preliminary. In order to advance from your preliminary round to the team finals, the rules were the best 2 teams from each country up to 25. So that's tough. It's not a guarantee that the best teams from every country would advance because there are a lot of countries represented. And then the rest in order of classification up to 50 teams. So 50 teams from each preliminary round advance to the finals. In the preliminary rounds, you're given 4 jigsaw puzzles, 1,000 pieces each, and you chose 2 of them to complete and you were given 3 hours. Now in preliminary group A, there were 79 teams and the 4 jigsaw puzzles from which they had to choose were the Shell Collector, and 73 teams chose to do that one. Night in Berlin, 56 teams chose to do that one. Ladies Lunch, 20 teams chose to do that one. And Riverside Town, only 9 teams chose to do that one. We were in Group B, and there were a total of 80 teams in Group B, and the 4 puzzles from which we could choose were West Coast Tranquility, 32 teams chose to do that one. A Day in Paris, 48 teams chose to do that one. The 50s, 18 teams chose it. and Burano, or maybe the island of Burano. I'm not too exactly sure on the title of that jigsaw puzzle, and 62 teams chose to do that one. I came home with this one. This one is the West Coast Tranquility one, 1,000 pieces, and I will eventually speed run this one with Allison. And you know what? We were influenced in Group B by the choices that were made from the people in Group A. Many of them chose to do that panorama jigsaw puzzle, and so we were one of the teams in Group B that chose also to do the panorama jigsaw puzzle, but there was a significant difference between the two. The one we had so much more sky, solid color sky, no gradient. It was quite the chore to do. We should have chosen to do this one as well as the Burano one. Lesson learned. For Group A, nearly every team chose to do the shell collector. So let's look at the top 5 results for Group A's preliminary team round. The Czech team, Las Chicas Checas, 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 8 seconds. Amazing for 2 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzles. They chose to do the shell collector and the panorama Night in Berlin. And just literally 8 seconds after them, Puzzle Hustle from the United States also chose to do the same 2 jigsaw puzzles, and 8 seconds difference. Amazing. The top 5 teams all did well. In fact, the 5th place was just over 1 hour and 30 minutes for 2 jigsaw puzzles. We made a big mistake on our choice of jigsaw puzzles. In fact, if we look at the top 5 for Group B, for the teams in which we were, you'll see that I believe only one person in the top 10, one team in the top 10 chose to do that Day in Paris panorama jigsaw puzzle. But the Misfits, again, amazing, 1 hour and 15 minutes and 46 seconds. How is that even possible to do 2 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzles that quickly? They chose to do this one, the West Coast Tranquility, and then to also do the Burano one. So amazing. And the top 5, just the 5th place, the Puzzleroos from Australia, love their name, just under 1 hour, 40 minutes. So many great puzzling teams. Now, when you look at the results online, you can actually click on a little thumbnail of the jigsaw puzzle to look at each result time for all the teams that chose to do that jigsaw puzzle. But I don't find that that's a good measure of how fast a team can puzzle, because there were 2 factors that really played into this. 1, the jigsaw puzzles you chose to do. 2, the order you chose to do them in. For example, we chose that Day in Paris and we did it first. It took us about 1 hour and 58 minutes to do that jigsaw puzzle. And when you look at all the teams that chose to do it, that's pretty good. So we only had 1 hour and 2 minutes remaining on the clock to work on Burano. So it looks as if we didn't complete the Burano jigsaw puzzle, because we didn't. We had about 52 pieces remaining. However, if we would have done that jigsaw puzzle first, I'm willing to bet we only needed a few more minutes to finish it, and we probably would have been able to complete it around the 1 hour 5 to 1 hour 7 minute mark. And that would have been a great time for that jigsaw puzzle. But because we chose to do it second, it looks like we didn't do so well on it because we didn't complete it. So I don't feel looking at those individual times for each of those jigsaw puzzles is truly indicative of a team's puzzling capability. However, for that preliminary round, we quickly learned that it's not just the team's speed that matters, it's how well they know puzzles and know their capabilities and how to choose jigsaw puzzles. That really mattered. And to be honest, we should have just taken a second to look around, because no team around us chose to do that orange panorama jigsaw puzzle as we did. We should have changed the puzzle that we chose. We were too influenced by Group A, by so many people doing that panorama puzzle. That one though, the buildings were a lot taller, there was a lot less sky, there were stars in the sky. Although they were very similar, they were quite different when it comes to speed puzzling. Jeanette actually joked that we chose the puzzle so poorly that for the finals, at this time, we thought we were going to be given 4 jigsaw puzzles and we would have to choose 2. And that put us in a bit of a panic. And she said, let's pick 2, then we'll put them on the floor and we'll choose to do the other 2. But luckily for the finals, you're just given 2 jigsaw puzzles. The only choice you have to do is which one you complete first and which one you complete second, which still kind of matters because you want to choose to do the puzzle you think that is easiest. You'll get it done faster because in the end, if you don't finish the jigsaw puzzles, it's by piece count. Now, the 2 jigsaw puzzles in the finals, honestly, I don't know why we chose to do them in the order we did. I just went along with everyone. So I can't even tell you why we chose to do them in the order that we did. But let's have a look at the 2 jigsaw puzzles in question. The first puzzle is by Gauguin, and I'm not sure if it's just called Gauguin or if it has a name of Aria. So I'm not too sure about that puzzle's name. Again, unreleased 2024 edition. The second jigsaw puzzle, beautiful. It was called Puzzle People, loved it. And the name of the artist, I'll pop up on the screen because I don't have it written down here and I don't want to mispronounce it. Was it Marie Boisseau, I believe? Hopefully I'm saying their name correctly. Loved it. That was such a fun jigsaw puzzle to build. So like I said, we chose to do the Gauguin one first. Don't actually know why we did, but we rocked it. I was so pleased with our time as a team. Absolutely shocked. An hour, 4 minutes, and 24 seconds to complete that jigsaw puzzle. I think we had the power of Vicky and Juby and Jeanette going because I just felt like I was all over the place, but we did so great. And yes, you finish the puzzle and then boom, 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 you tear it apart, throw it back in the box, and you grab open the second puzzle. And the Puzzle People puzzle was lovely. Oh my goodness, I can see a lot of people getting that puzzle just to do for fun and leisurely. That was so nice. So we tackled that one. It took us a little longer, an hour, 23 minutes and 3 seconds, but I was still so impressed and so amazed with our times. So now let's have a look at the top 5 for the finals in the teams category. Again, what a close race. It was back and forth. On top, the Czech team, Las Chicas Checas, came in at an hour, 30 minutes and 25 seconds. How is that possible? That's insane. They're speed puzzling machines. Second place, not far behind, exactly 3 minutes, the Misfits from the United States. And then we have Nonstop, which again has Alejandro just a few minutes later, 1:37.16. The German team, Echtile, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, at 1:43.25. And then in 5th place, we have Puzzle Hustle from the United States, 2 seconds after 4th place, 2 seconds, 1:43.27, amazing. In fact, looking at the top 10, anything's puzzleable. I love that name, so close. Jigonometry, Super Nenas, Sister Squad, For the Sake of Puzzles. Look at those times. They are literally seconds and seconds apart. In fact, the top 10 completed the 2 jigsaw puzzles in under an hour and 50 minutes. We were given 3 hours. That's just amazing. Amazing. Everybody should be so proud of their efforts. It was such a wonderful competition. So in the end, Jigsaw Juby, Vicky Makes and Builds, Jeanette and her puzzles, and I formed Team World Pieces, and we finished 39th out of 159 teams, which started in the preliminary rounds. And I am so proud of that finish. A top 40 finish. For me, that's the icing on the cake. That I was so proud of our team, so excited. And I will say this again, like I've said before, just coming to the competition, putting yourself out there, trying to speed puzzle. Doesn't matter how fast you are. It's a win in my book that you just attempted and tried it because the competition is fierce. It is tough, but it is so much fun. So much fun. And I hope many of you will consider coming next year. So some of my thoughts on the different puzzles that I encountered during the pairs and the teams. First of all, for Ludicrous Library, I really don't know what we could have done to do it faster, perhaps sort by piece shape sooner, because I know that would have helped Jeanette. I'm looking forward to doing that one with Allison. I loved it, my style of image. It's so much fun. So I'm looking forward to redoing that with her. Could we potentially do it faster than that hour and 5 minutes? I don't know. I was really pleased with that time and I thought we did very well on it. As for Boston, Allison seems convinced we can do it under 2 hours. I don't think so. I don't know. That one is a tricky, tricky puzzle. I think there's going to be a lot of people out there, pairs, buying that puzzle just to sink their teeth into it and see how they get on. I don't know. It's interesting. And doing it at home or in the comfort of the area where you puzzle versus at the competition is completely different. For the teams puzzles, oh my goodness. Personally, I would prefer not to have a choice, even during the preliminary rounds. Just give me 2 jigsaw puzzles, and the choice can be which one I do first, which one I do second, because obviously we did not choose well. But is that a factor that the organizers want to include? That, yeah, it is your choice, you're to choose, and if you make the bad choice, it's because of your inexperience, perhaps, in puzzling. It was definitely due to our inexperience, and being influenced by how many people chose to do the panorama the first round. We should have changed our puzzles. So I would prefer just having 2 puzzles and no choice. That's just me. I think we could have done a lot better if we would have done the Burano and this one, the West Coast Tranquilities. If I were to redo that, those are the 2 that I would choose to do. And I'm looking forward to speed puzzling this one with Allison. I think we could get a pretty good time on it. So that'll be interesting, and I'll keep you posted on that. As for the 2 teams' final jigsaw puzzles, well, I'm just so pleased with our time. We did so well all together, and I'm so, I was just on top of the world with that finish, 39th. Woo-wee! I'm so proud. But how amazing are all the teams, the pairs, and individuals at the competition? Just great. It's so amazing to watch as well. Seriously, if any of you are considering to travel to Valladolid next year to go to the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships, trust me, you will not be disappointed. It was so much fun. Everyone was amazing, welcoming, loving, and to just talk puzzles all day long was just a thrill for me. To know that there's people out there that love puzzles just as much as I do, and many people were there who are not really speed puzzlers. They just wanted to come along and give it a go. Like Andy, the other Kiwi that was there that just happened to be in the area at the time of the competition and signed up. She did amazing, made it all the way to the finals and finished the final puzzle. Another reason to come is to be able to have access to all those jigsaw puzzles, because they would sell them for €5 for a 500 piece, and I think €10 for a 1,000 piece, and you could buy those newer unreleased jigsaw puzzles. So especially if you're in Spain, just to come by to spectate, to buy the jigsaw puzzles, and to give it a go. Like seriously, it was so much fun. I saw some people just sit down in the teams and just enjoy one another and just puzzle together. You will not regret it. If you have the time and the money to be able to go next year, I would love to meet you. I would love to see you there. I'm going to do everything in my power to make it. Oh, it was just so much fun. Already I'm planning with Jeanette. I'm like, Jeanette, we have to go. We have to go. And thank you so much to everyone. Alfonso, the head of the World Jigsaw Puzzle Federation, all the volunteers, the camera crew, the commentators, Julie and Valerie, the Spanish commentators, the Italian commentators. I think next year they're going to try to have more languages. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The timekeepers, the one who said, it's okay, you have plenty of time, helping us find the piece on the floor. Like, everyone was so amazing and so loving. It was great. It was a trip of a lifetime, memories forever, new puzzle friends, and I really hope that if you want to go next year, don't be put off if you're not a super fast speed puzzler. Trust me, you will love it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. For the love of puzzles, I hope you enjoy my videos. Please consider subscribing. And until next year at the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships in Valladolid, Spain, ciao!